Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all fine. Today we'll be focusing on active and passive. We mainly use the passive voice when the doer of the action is either unknown or unimportant in our sentence. Someone stole Julia's necklace. Julia's necklace was stolen by someone. Both sentences give me the same information, but the focus is different with each and every sentence. First of all, when it comes to the first sentence, someone stole Julia's necklace, it is written in the active voice. And in that sentence, my focus is on the doer of the action. That's why I started my sentence here with the subject or the doer of the action, and I said, someone stole Julia's necklace. Yet when it comes to the second sentence, Julia's necklace was stolen by someone, it is written in the passive voice. My focus here in the sentence is totally different. My focus here is on what happened to my object. That's why I started my sentence with Julia's necklace, which is the object, and then was stolen, when this is the verb, and then by someone. In other words, I use the passive voice when I focus more on what happens to my object. When we change our sentence from active to passive, we have to make some changes. First, we place the object at the beginning of the sentence. Then we put the verb, but we make some changes in the verb according to the tense. And finally, we may mention the subject of the sentence. And that part is optional, so we have the choice either to refer to the subject or not. Concerning the changes that happen in my verb, they happen mainly according to the tense. So, if my verb is a simple tense, meaning present simple or past simple, then I'll be using verb to be, of course, am, is, are, was, or were, according to the tense, whether it is past or present. And then it has to be followed by past participle. But there is something very important we have to bear in mind, that verb to be has to agree with my object, whether it is singular or plural. Let's have a look at the coming sentences. First of all, here we have somebody cleans the room every day. So when we change into passive, we will start simply with the room, the object, and then because here cleans is in the present simple, we change the verb into is cleaned because we use verb to be in the present, and it has to agree with my object. So is cleaned, and then we have the choice either to mention by somebody or not. Then in the sentence, somebody cleaned the room. We mentioned also the room at the beginning, and then we mentioned was cleaned. Of course, here was cleaned, I used verb to be was because already the main sentence is written in the past simple. And then I mentioned clean, which is the past participle form of my verb. If the tense of my sentence is a progressive tense, then the form of the verb will be as such. It should be verb to be, am, is, are, was, or were, according to the tense, whether it is present or past, and then followed by being, and finally followed by past participle. So if the sentence is somebody is cleaning the room, then when we change it into passive, we have to say the room is being cleaned by somebody. And if my sentence is someone was cleaning the room, then it has to change into the room was being cleaned by somebody. If the tense of my sentence is a perfect tense, so I have to use after the object has, have, or had according to the tense, then it has to be followed by been plus past participle. So if my sentence in the active voice is I have made a cake, then when I change it into passive, it will be a cake has been made by me. And if my sentence is someone had cleaned the room, then in the passive voice it will be the room had been cleaned by someone. If the tense of my sentence is future simple, using either will plus infinitive or am, is, are going to plus infinitive, then in the passive voice we have to add be after will or after going to, then we add the past participle form of the verb. So, if the sentence is, I'm going to clean the room, then when we change it into passive, it will be, the room is going to be cleaned. And if the sentence is, I will clean the room, then in the passive voice, it will be, the room will be cleaned. I have in my sentence a simple modal verb followed by infinitive, like will, would, can, could, may, might, or a semi-modal verb like has to, have to, or had to, also followed by infinitive, then they have to be followed by be first, then past participle. So if I said you should clean the room, then it should be the room should be cleaned. If I said you have to clean the room, then it will be the room has to be cleaned. If the modal verb you have in your sentence is a perfect modal, meaning that it's followed by have plus past participle, in that sense, when we change the sentence into passive, it will be the modal verb plus have, then been plus past participle. So if my sentence is, you should have sent the email, then if we change into passive, it will be, the email should have been sent. What if my sentence has more than one object? Let's have a look at the coming sentence. Jane wrote a letter. So here I have Jane at the subject, wrote at the verb, and then a letter as an object. So here in that sentence I have one object, which is a letter. Then I may say in another sentence, Jane wrote a letter to Jack. Jane will be the subject, wrote again is the verb, a letter is the first object, and then to Jack. Jack is my second object. In case I have two objects here, I have the right to choose which one to start my sentence with. So I may say, a letter was written by Jane to Jack, or I may say, Jack was written a letter by Jane. And both sentences are correct. Have a look at that chart and it will help you to recap many of the rules we covered today.